Hi guys, thanks for coming to my party, sweetie. Yes, I am back. I know it's been so long since you've seen me. Looking better than ever. On this rainy day, I am going to be, as I promised, working with the Blue Blood palette today. Going to be using my boy brows, kind of similar to my last video. Not going to really do much in terms of makeup before I do my eyes. But I hope you'll join me as I start doing a teal and blue fantasy. The first thing I'm going to do is part of my normal routine using the Tarte Shape Tape in the light neutral shade to go ahead and prime my eyelids, getting ready for all that color and the pigment to stick down. So I'm just going to go ahead and do what I normally do. I like to use a light base. I think last time I used a white liquid lip. But this is a little bit thicker, more high coverage, and it's what I normally do, so I'm gonna go stick with that for now. Just go ahead and blend that out. Just really want to get all the way up to the brow, get all that space covered. I should just go walk out of the house like this. I'd love it. Oh, beautiful. I'm not going to go ahead and set my lids with any particular shadow. I also don't normally do that. For my first color, I'm going to be using the color Mintea or Minty from the first row. I'm going to go ahead and insert a photo of the palette or a small video to kind of show you which colors I'm using. I'm just going to take a light fluffy brush. Just going to dip right in there and go ahead and start up on my brow bone, just like before. Lighter color. Just kind of tapping, swiping now that I've kind of got it in place. I'm just going to kind of kick that up a little bit, kind of open that space up. I just got home from seeing the new Spider-Man movie, and I'll tell you what, even with heated seats, it is cold in those theaters. So cold. I was very much enjoying the movie though. Felt a little long, but I guess that's just, I don't know if this happens to you, but you'll go to a theater and be like, oh my gosh, this movie is taking forever. And then you watch it again once it comes out on Blu-ray or DVD or streaming or however you watch it. And then you're like, oh, that wasn't so long. So I think it might just be my perception of time differing in a dark theater than in my bed. Okay, get that nice kind of mint color all over there. And I'm going to go ahead now with a similar brush, just a little bit, a different one. I'm going to go ahead and dip into the color Flourishing, which is like a deeper teal color. And just kind of go up kind of along the same space, but kind of like if you imagine like going up onto the bone and then just going like that. And you can bring that down because honestly you're going to be blending darker colors onto it. So you can just kind of, I'm not really working it too much into the inner corner because I'm going to keep that area light. Just kind of starting here and going over. I just love these colors. This Blue Blood palette by Jeffree Star, I'm very happy with it. There's a lot of options in here, and honestly, I haven't even played with all of them yet. It's definitely something where I need to keep playing. So if you stick with me, you might see me use it again. Just kind of bring that down onto the lid a little bit. That outer portion. Okay, I'm going to go back in with a little bit of that mint tea and then just kind of blend, diffuse that kind of the color Flourishing. Go back in there with that a little bit. once again, trying to bring that crease up, open that up, especially on this side, because I have such issues with that kind of almost droopy appearance. And back with the mint tea. And diffuse that out. It's a lot of back and forth, honestly. It's a patient process, and it can be a little, overwhelming. I think one of the things that I, get comments on my photos a lot is, oh, teach me how to do that. Teach me how to do that. And so it's really not hard. It's just it's a patience thing. A lot of color theory too. If you really know what colors go well together, you can really play around. I have a lot of fun looks that I've done that incorporate lots of different colors. The last couple that I've done, there have been similar color stories. So just playing around a little bit. Okay. All right. The next thing that I'm going to do is, well, first of all, I'm going to get some of this powder off my nose. I'm going to take a little bit more of a concentrated brush, kind of like this, just an e.l.f. cheap brush. I think they're like $1 or something like that. And I'm going to go actually back into the Flourishing. I'm going to pack it deeper into the crease. Just really kind of getting that gradient. So I'm just going to start there and kind of work it into the crease. Oh yeah. And this is kind of like a soft reboot of, if you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen a similar look to this. A couple actually. I've really been into the teal and coral story. As some of you may be aware, the 2019 Pantone color of the year is coral. So I've really been inspired by that. I'm not saying that, everything I do is coral, but I just really love this kind of teal and coral color story. Just doing the same thing on the other side now. Now, to deepen this color even further, I'm going to go ahead and kind of dip the same brush that I've been using in the outer V and into the crease with Flourishing, but I'm also going to add the shade Cremated, which is a little bit of a deeper, kind of a slate navy color. Just kind of tap into it a little bit, just to kind of gently darken that color out there. I don't want to go too far into the blue or the dark side of it. I kind of want to keep it teal. So by kind of tapping these together, I'm getting that effect. Oh yeah. Just what I wanted. How's it looking? Looking all right. Let me go back in with the brush that just has Flourishing on it and just kind of going to sweep over. Kind of, if it got a little too dark, you can always kind of sweep that. And you can always use the mint tea as well too to tone down that even further. I think the general rule is you don't want to go super far past your brow for a general look, but there's one thing I've learned, it's that there are no rules. The 80s, people were using blush everywhere. Big eyes, like kind of up into here, whatever. Be creative, have fun. There's really no limits to what you can do. I find mastering the basics is always easier, because then from there, once you kind of know what you're doing, or once you've got all those things down, just that's when you can play and really have fun. Kind of bringing that up. And like I said last time, I'm messy. So that's one of the reasons why I don't really do any concealer or anything until it's all done. You can even use, there's so many kind of neutral shades in this palette as well. The shade Priceless and Celebrity Skin, Wealthy. Those are all really great shades to kind of diffuse anytime you may have gone over an area that, you know, you're like, oh crap, I brought that too far. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just another fluffy eyeshadow brush. I'm going to go into the shade Wealthy, which is kind of a really light skin tone color. I'm just kind of going to go on the outside like that. See how that just really diffused and angled that up. Once again, doing the same on both sides. That's what I love these palettes. There's, I believe, 15 shades. So there's so many different shades to choose from. Really liking this. So I'm going to be using another brand here for a couple things. Dawn Eyes. It's a wonderful brand that I actually learned of through the internet. They are an indie brand. They do a lot of the loose colors. They're known for their premiums, which are like a multi-chrome pigment. But this one here is actually just kind of like a glitter shade called Blue Christmas. And as you can see, it's kind of, these lights are so bright. Sometimes it's really hard to see, but I'm gonna take just a little bit of this with a really kind of concentrated brush here. And I'm just gonna kind of put that right over here, only on the lid portion, just to kind of make that outer edge sparkle. Once again, the shade is Blue Christmas by Dawn Eyes, as in the morning dawn, D-A-W-N. Just really beautiful glitter kind of accent out there on top of the darker shades. I love a sparkle. Ever watch that Secretive Nim cartoon from the 90s, I believe, late 80s? It's a Don Bluth classic, and Dom DeLuise plays this crow who's just obsessed with sparkly items, and he's very attracted to that. It's one of my favorite movies as a kid, and I usually, every time I hear the word sparkly, I think of that. So I just want to kind of tap that over the outside. You can see it gets kind of little, not sure if you can see a little glitter shimmer. But the next shade that I'm going to use for the inner corner is another shade, and it's called Tender. It's one of the multi-chrome pigments from Dawn Eyes. And I'm going to actually use a silicone brush for this because it is a loose color and generally requires a little bit of stickiness. I'm going to also use the NYX Glitter Primer to put down first. So I'm just going to take my NYX Glitter Primer with a little kind of flat eyeshadow brush, or a small concealer brush. I'm just going to put a little on my hand and go ahead and put that on. Here we go. I'm just going to use a small concealer brush, and I'm just going to kind of right on the lid up to about the first third here, first third to a half. I really want to adhere that down. Loose pigments generally need something more to adhere to for longevity and staying power. I'm going to go ahead and get that in my kind of inner eye socket there as well. So I want to kind of open that up as well. Oh, got some in my eyelashes. Okay. So here comes the real part. So I'm just going to tap some out into the lid. And then I'm going to use this side. This is the NYX number 36 silicone brush. Kind of looks like a spade. I find that that really gets into the inner corner really well. So I'm just going to kind of get that into the color and bring it. I know it looks pink, but then you can see as it shifts to a green, beautiful mint green color. It's so beautiful. I have a couple of these colors and I can't recommend them enough. A lot of times people just do a look with one shadow and it looks like they have like 3 or 4 different colors on their eyes. It's remarkable what they can do. Check them out online, seriously. They have a great selection. I'm going to use a little bit more of that blue Christmas to just kind of meld those two together. Just kind of go over top of that. Just beautiful kind of like slate blue. These are also really fun to put on top of the lips. I guess according to the FDA or all that, they're not technically lip safe, but I've not had any issues with them as a lip topper. They kind of help really mattify your lips, especially if you've got like a liquid lip down. It just gives it a lot of dimension, a lot of shine. Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and apply some concealer, start working on this look a little bit more, start bringing it in underneath the eye, so stay tuned. Hi, I am back. I went ahead and did a little concealing, a little bronzing. Actually, no foundation at all today, just a little bit of concealing, bronzing, bringing some color in. Just something really simple, very casual. Feeling good. So I am going to, now that I've done all that, going to go back in and start bringing that color under my eyes. I'm going to go ahead and take the brush that I used the blue Christmas shade with. I just went ahead and like wiped that off really quickly. And then I'm going to go back in with the color Flourishing with this. So even if there's still a little blue Christmas on, I don't really care, but I'm just gonna kind of start dragging that to about the middle portion of my eye. And just really building that color up. I want it to be really intense. Very blue. Yeah, there's still a little bit of that blue Christmas glitter on there, and I'm really liking the way that looks. I probably make the weirdest faces. My mouth hanging open. I'm sure it's gorgeous. I'm just really connecting that in. Ooh, love it. So now I'm going to just take kind of a flat packing brush. I'm not going to have any product on it. I'm just going to kind of go underneath and just kind of blend that out, smoke it out, diffuse it, which is why I wanted it kind of really intensely pigmented at first, just to kind of give us a lot to work with. So we kind of go up into the top portion. I sound like I'm from the Dakotas, North Dakota. Then I'm going to take a kind of a pointed brush here. This one like right there. It's pretty easier to see. And I'm going to take the shade Culinan, which I mentioned in the last video. I'm going to go ahead and kind of work that into the inner corner. It's really just kind of going to blend in. It's not going to be super noticeable, but I just kind of wanted to bring a little bit more brightness to this portion here. It's all about creating illusions, tricking the light to catching those areas. Kind of working that in, bringing that kind of that pinky metallic teal mint down into kind of a reflective white shade. And then taking another kind of flat brush, you can even use the same one that you diffused the Flourishing color with, that had no product on it. And I'm going to go ahead and use the color Crystal Flesh, which is kind of a peachy metallic, and just kind of bring that right under, kind of connecting the shade Tender from Dawn with the Flourishing under the eyes. And you can even kind of go back and forth with the Flourishing and the Crystal Flesh to just kind of marry them together. The multitasking. The multitasking. How does he do it? Inquiring minds would love to know. So I've been trying to come up with a name for my channel. I've been bouncing a lot of things around. And as I'd mentioned before, this is kind of a work in progress. You guys are along with me for the ride, and I just like to have fun, and I think that eventually, organically, it'll come about. But if you have any suggestions, feel free to leave it in a comment. Alrighty, so the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do is a little bit of liner, and not just to kind of highlight or darken around. Highlight's the wrong word, but just kind of really give my lash root a base. So I'm really going to use a brown this time, staying in the Earth Zone family. I'm going to use a liquid pen. This one is by Wet n Wild, but it's just a dark brown liner pen. This is always the hardest part for me personally, but I'm going to go ahead and give it a try here. I'm just going to kind of start where my lashes are, like right here. Just really as close to the lash bed as possible, just kind of darken. I don't want a thick liner. You can always add more, but taking away is the difficult part. You got a wrinkly lid, it's going to be a lot of fun. And you can really go as thick with the line as you want. How do they look? How does that look? I'm just going to take this shadow, the brush that I used, the Flourishing with the Cremated, so the darker slate. I'm just kind of get the ends there, because it's not going to be perfect, and I just want to kind of make it all seem to go into each other. I don't necessarily need a super defined line. A lot of back and forth. Patient process. I'm just going to go taking that Mintea brush, so that lighter mint shade. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of go around the edge of my eyes. So just kind of like all the way around. Really kind of just diffuses all of those harsh lines. Alrighty. How's that look? I've asked that a lot, haven't I? So thirsty for validation. Alrighty. I am going to go ahead and put some mascara on, and I think I'm going to do some lashes. What do you think? I'll be right back. Surprise. I've just applied my lashes, a little bit of mascara. I'm using the Urban Decay Perversion. I like this one. It's very buildable. It's great when I'm working my natural lashes into a pair of falsies. I'm using the Ardell Wispies 700 for the lash. Not the best at that, that's why I did it off camera. But I'm gonna go ahead and then just put some mascara to kind of meld them together. Just kind of give it another coat. Definitely not my forte. They're not very even, but what can be, no one's really going to notice. They're not looking that closely. I'm going to go ahead back in with my liner a little bit and just kind of, I also went ahead and applied some blush. For this, I used the Trixie Mattel and Sugar Pill collab, Oh Honey. I believe the shade is in Life Size. So I went ahead and put some blush on. Okay, looking good. I'm also going to use a highlighter. For this one, I'm going to use the Precious Petals by Wet n Wild. It's one of my favorites. I'm hit pan on it, which is like one of the first makeup products that I've actually hit pan on. But it's a really beautiful champagne-y peach color, going with a kind of the coral theme of it. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply it. One of the tricks to lifting the face is you never want to go apply your highlighter past your pupil point. So from here up, anything there, bringing it closer in will kind of sag your face a little bit. So I'm just going to kind of tap at first and then swirl and then bring it into the brow bone. This technique is called draping. I did that with the blush as well. It's where you just kind of tap and then bring it up and around. Up and around. Now I'm going to use my blush brush to kind of meld the two together. Whatever product is left. So you're basically making kind of like a C almost on the side of your face. Kind of really bringing that illusion that your cheekbones are just gigantic. Just love a little highlight. Bridge my nose, go here. Little philtrum, Cupid's bow. I believe that's the colloquial term for it. Little on the chin, little dewy look. Loving it. Alrighty, so now I am going to go ahead and set my face with the Dewy Set by Anastasia. Let's give it a good bath here. Hold on one second. Oh, so refreshing, so refreshing. Alrighty. What else am I forgetting? Oh, a little bit of brow pencil, just to kind of give it a little bit more definition. I don't do a lot with my eyebrows generally, just because I feel like my brows don't need a lot of work. I don't know how else to say that. I'm just kind of extending the tail a little bit, really. Filling in any patchy parts. The bad habit of pulling my eyebrows when I get nervous. It's like kind of a, you know, some people bite their nails, I pull my eyebrows out. I don't know, if you live in the Pittsburgh area, today was just a deluge, a monsoon. I can hear the rain on the roof, which is why I mentioned it. I like this one because it kind of comes with a little brush. And this is just Rimmel eyebrow pencil. Nothing fancy. I have no shame about using drugstore products kind of in conjunction with higher end. You know, it's what you want to use. All right, so next is going to be the lips. And I'm going to go ahead and use just like a nude liner. For this one, I'm going to use the Jeffree Star in Celebrity Skin. I'm gonna go ahead and give that a sharpen. Okay. And I just kind of overdraw a little bit. I'm gonna just start at the corner. Liner isn't always needed, but sometimes it really helps when you're trying to color in the lines. Color inside those lines. Put that down there. And I'm going to use a couple colors here for the lips. I'm going to use the 2 Jeffree Star liquid lips. I'm going to use the color Calabasas, and then I'm going to top it with Candy Ass to give it kind of a shimmer. Go ahead and start on the outside. Kind of a pinky peach nude. You want to get the darkest parts on the outside. One thing I noticed is the Candy Ass does not like to be layered on. You don't want to do more than one, it starts to crack. It might just be because its product is old, but I found out the hard way that you can't really keep layering it. So I'm going to put this base down and just cross my fingers. It has a beautiful smell though. It's like I don't know, like fruity. And I think to top it off, I'm gonna let that set for a minute, and then I'm gonna go ahead and tap over the outside with the shade Crystal Flesh, which I kind of already used on my eyes, but just kind of tie it into the lips. I'm just gonna get a little on my finger, and then just tap in the center. It just really brings that little highlight in the middle. I need some more highlighter. I wanted them to be able to see it from space. Where did I put it? Here it is. And sometimes the highlighter will stick better to already set skin, so once that setting spray was sprayed, it kind of will stick better a little bit. And you can even spray the brush. And I will go ahead and set again for a little permanence. Get a little bit on there. Just bring all that light to all the places I want people to see. This is just my favorite part, you know, getting ready to go out. If I'm going to be going out for a night out on the town, or, you know, going to a special party. This getting ready part, I don't like to be rushed, that's for sure. If you want to see me have a meltdown, give me 15 minutes to get ready. Then we're going to have some problems. But this is really a great opportunity for me to kind of take my time and really show my art for you guys. Where did my there it is. Oh, goodness. Whew. Oh, goodness. Anything else? Oh, I just love this. I'm going to go ahead and change into something a little bit more dramatic, and I'll be right back. And voila, here's the finished product. A couple extra touches, a little crown, a little necklace, a little corally shirt. I'm ready to go out. We're staying. Well, I hope you had as much fun as I did doing this, and I hope you stick around for future projects. Don't forget to like and subscribe, make a comment, leave a suggestion. I'm open to anything. As I said, this is an ongoing project of mine, and I'm really glad that you're along for the ride. But until then, I miss you already.